What's up, guys? This is Chris from Abstract Tiger Productions, and we are here with another Bad Batch reaction. As you can see, I have a very special guest with me today. And who are you, sir?
I am Drew. Chris, thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to be a part of this and to see this episode of Bad Batch. So far, it has been amazing.
Yes, so far the first two episodes have been fantastic. Somebody had said, Dave, why can't they all be 70 minutes long? And to which he replied, that costs money. So, I would absolutely love for it to be all 70 minutes long, but yeah, animation costs a lot of money. So, if you're not have to go 70 minutes, then you don't go 70 minutes. But last time on the Bad Batch, we had Cut and Run. We saw Cut Locane, who was the deserter, I think from season 2 of Clone Wars, and apparently him and the Bad Batch have, they've crossed paths a few times.
Yes. I did experience that as well. When I saw the title Cut and Run, and at first it didn't click, and then I actually saw Cut, and I was like,
yes,
really?
That was me as well. It was like, oh yeah, but then again, the last time I was a little sleepy whenever I was recording that particular episode. So, as you know, I had two notes.
I did experience I Angry Cat, or
Angry Kitty.
We'll get to that.
Angry Kitty, yes, the Nexu from episode 2, the one that poor Anakin ran over with a rhino.
Yes.
Aw, poor kitty cat.
I did experience a slight bit of depression because I really thought that they were going to put Rex in.
Oh, yes. So did I. Yeah, Rex. I was sad. But, in the trailer, he's there. When we get there, we'll know, because I'm sure they'll put something in the title. Like, see a Rex later or something. I don't know. That was stupid pun. I may cut that out. But anyways, here we are. We're on the day of the release. No tornadic activity this time around. So it is going to be on time, hopefully from here going forward. Yes. So yeah, that was a nightmare for even still, it's not been fun for a lot of people in the area. So
it went through my backyard. I went out to move my car so that I could clean up in front of it, and there was literally 2 trees that were uprooted and laying sideways on top of the trees next to them. That was a very, very interesting. And then I got your text about, I have no power.
Yes. So, yeah. And on that note, kids, when you see a tornado in the wild, leave it alone. They're not as cute and cuddly as they are on TV.
Unless you live in Oklahoma, in which case that's apparently all they do is watch tornadoes.
Yeah, well. All right, let's see here. Anticipations for this episode? I don't know. They didn't really give us much indication of where they're going. But if they do what they did last time and they just kind of pick up where they left off, who knows? The only way to really find out is actually just watch the thing. Should we do that? Is that what we do here?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is we're going to get more into the Crosshair storyline.
Yes.
He's going to be the shadowy figure hunting them down throughout the season is the vibe I'm getting. Yeah,
and it's going to be really more difficult probably because he knows their tactics
exactly
already.
And if they went to J19 in order to see Cut, that's probably the first thing he would think.
Yeah, because they did say that they've been there before, and Cut asked, where's Crosshair? That's complicated.
And they caused a little bit of trouble, which I believe the line was, if we start a blaster war they're going to lock down the whole port.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yes. That's, well, predictability, Well, you gotta have some sort of, can't just get them, go through the line, get the ship and leave. Just, because it'll be a 5-minute episode. And
no, Dave Filoni likes to cause tension. Whether it's animated or live action, right. He likes to cause tension.
Right. Okay, so shall we get started?
I think we should.
All right. Lucasfilm.
It brings a tear to my eye every time I see that.
All right, I want this thing to... Bad Batch! Replacements. Okay.
Rations are low. The ship got hit hard when we fled the loop line. Several systems have been glitching ever since. Repairs would go faster if I had some help.
As soon as I finish building the scanner, testing functionality of our inhibitor chips takes precedence.
I thought you said they were defective.
A feeling this device will be able to prove. Besides, the ship-wide diagnostic report indicated no critical systems were compromised.
That is what you call tempting fate when you say everything is fine.
Yeah, it's like, what else could go wrong? Just things you don't say, especially on a ship. Good lord.
It doesn't seem like it
fit.
fits. It doesn't fit either one of them.
I was gonna say, even Grogu had like little handcuffs.
That's not the same. Oh, poor Gonk Droid. Oh. Uh-oh.
We're gonna die, we're gonna be fine.
This place looks very foreboding.
Are you alright?
Is it over?
Kind of halfway expecting to go, yay, again! Oh.
Fine. I'll say it. I kind of miss him.
He shot you, remember?
Ah, I sure do. That hurt.
It's worth noting the possibility.
Okay.
And we're in the MRI tunnel again.
What are we doing? Are we reinforcing?
9904.
Oh, AZ's back.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you they wiped his memory, so he don't remember anything.
It's a very strong possibility.
The data shows he's responding favorably to the procedure.
Let's see if he stays that way.
Our facilities are fully capable of creating more clones for the task.
Sustaining such a vast engagement is not one clones must do alone. There are other ways of producing loyal soldiers.
The Imperial Academies, for one.
Mm-hmm.
May I present
Hey,
our first elite squad.
ooh. Okay.
Top soldiers from across the galaxy. Imagine more squads like this being trained by skilled clones. Together, they would make a formidable army. I believe it will strengthen the future of this burgeoning empire.
Yeah, your job is on the line there, Nalase.
Captain, those capacitors hold massive charge.
I am well aware.
There is something crawling on the ship. I don't like that.
There's always something on the ship.
Oh, don't let it be spiders again.
I was
don't-
like,
those do look like those spider holes.
yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I saw where they landed.
That should do it.
I'm jump scare-phobic. Does that count?
What? I saw something. I don't know what. Oh!
Well, those weren't there when we landed.
Very observant. They needed that. Put that back.
Something's causing damage to the exterior hull.
You want to narrow that down?
Thunk, thunk. Ominous thunking noise.
Yeah.
Ah!
What is it?
The creature is most likely an Ordo moon dragon, a species that feeds on raw energy.
Oh,
was probably
of
dropped
course.
as this
We're on a planet that has that on there.
Good to know beforehand.
I'm part of the squad now too, right?
Watch over Wrecker.
All right, kid. Just stay close.
No?
Okay.
Interesting. I was thinking the same thing you were.
Yeah.
I didn't join the military to be studied and poked at.
The war's over. Who's left for us to fight?
With the Empire, I get paid, I get fed, and I have a roof over my head. That's more than the Republic ever did for me.
Oh boy.
That-
That's what they're looking for, is those people who that the old Republic did nothing for.
Right.
And they're just going to, here's a care package for you. Come work for us. We have cookies.
I didn't get cookies.
Yeah.
We need
Combat
to see them
test.
in action. By all means. Send the clone and your recruits to Onderon. I want Saw Gerrera's camp found and wiped out.
What are you doing?
He's hunting. Oh.
You beat me by like 2 seconds.
And of course she's mimicking him again.
Yeah.
Could I learn to track like you?
Because it's dirt.
It's an enhanced.
Dirt.
Wrecker and Tech, we each have one.
And Crosshair, you shouldn't be angry at him. He can't help it.
I'm angry at myself. We don't leave our own behind.
Then we'll find a way to get him back. Somehow.
Enjoy being commander. For now. We'll see
Ooh.
how things shake out.
Sir, just received a transmission from Guerrero. He's standing by at the rendezvous.
Alright, let's move out.
So they are still on Onderon.
Yes, but Saw may not be.
Triggered in Sector 2A. Alert the others.
This is just a small group of his crew.
Mm-hmm.
Get our people on the shuttle! Now!
Oh, smoke. I wonder if it's gonna be like a dog. If you touch his chew toy, he's gonna come after you, even though he just doesn't seem like interested in it. Oh,
Gollum?
ah, no, that's. Yep, I was right. It's like a dog.
Yeah.
It is my chew toy. I put it down just for a second. I was coming back for it. And she's gonna go down the hole with it. Because she's the only one that can fit.
So I'm afraid that that's like a baby version, and she's about to come
Yeah.
like one that's like the size of a crate dragon.
Oh! Flame Trooper.
Yeah.
Oh!
I don't know if you heard it, but we had the Wilhelm just now.
Oh!
Where's Guerrera?
I don't know. But I wouldn't tell you if I did.
Oh!
Oh.
That.
I believe you.
We don't know anything. We were promised transport off-world, that's all.
Then you're of no use to the Empire.
What are you doing? Guerrera's fighters are dead. These are civilians. We should bring them in.
So you're not going to comply.
Oh.
None of us are.
You want to know why they put me in charge? It's because I'm willing to do what needs to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Soldiers follow orders. Finish the mission.
Oh,
That's
wow.
gonna be the go-to phrase. Good soldiers
Yeah.
follow orders.
It hates light. Oh. That reminds me of, like, Godzilla.
I was thinking the exact same thing. At first I thought it was like a Muto.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It appears your squad is one trooper down.
Unfortunate, but soldiers know the risks of battle.
Yeah, well...
Guerrero was already gone, but the rest of his camp was dealt with.
Impressive. The clone commander's new squad has followed through, where his brethren did not.
With more time and training, our forces will be unlike anything the galaxy has seen.
Then I leave this project in your capable hands, Admiral.
Ooh,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
that's...
The original genetic material from Django Fat continues to degrade.
Then it is time to begin the next phase. If your experiment can yield a superior clone, it will secure our relationship with the Empire. Our survival hinges on it.
And where have you been? Hey, kid, come with me. Cover your eyes.
Okay. What's this?
Okay. Open them. Check it out.
Oh,
a
it's
little
our own
bunk.
little place. Yeah.
It's your own room.
Oh, in the rear turret.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thought this place could feel more like a home.
It's perfect. Thank you, Rika.
It was nothing.
I never had my own room before.
Well, you're part of this squad now too.
Then where did you sleep on Camino?
Probably in some lab somewhere. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Well, that was a interesting episode. Kind of had a little dual story going on. We had crash land on a mostly deserted planet because the ship's falling apart, as ships go.
Right. I mean, it's better than it just, collapsing into the water.
Yes.
I still chuckle about that when I think about it. Anyways,
Yes.
we're not talking about Mandalorian.
No, we're not. I was going to say, we had the first time Han was at the pilot seat of a Millennium Falcon when Lando still held it. It got torn apart, and then we had the Razor Crest. It eventually got turned into nothing, and now we have this ship who's kind of falling apart. But they sort of kind of fixed it, so maybe it'll last a little longer. I mean, it's got to, because it's the only thing they have, and it's the closest thing they got to a home at the moment.
It's a modified Omicron class attack shuttle.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to give it a name. They haven't given it a name yet.
Yeah, and then we had basically a creature called a moon dragon.
Yes.
Feeds off raw energy. That's very dog-like. Yes. Nocturnal, doesn't like the light, but based on the planet, doesn't seem like it has much of a light source, anyways. Because the way the planets and whatnot, whenever they came out, it looked like it was just like two bigger planets, and in front of it was this planet they crashed on. So I'm sure it doesn't have too much direct sunlight, anyways. So,
yeah, you can't even see the closest star when they were pulling out of it. Like, there's no light at all.
And we had Wrecker with a headache for most of the episode because he bonked his head during the crash landing.
So he actually did bonk his head.
He did bonk his head,
I thought it was
yes.
going to be an implant issue.
No, he bonked his head. We also had a little thing with Crosshair getting his own squad and being very black and white about the orders.
Yes.
Either a do or do not. There is no, okay, we're done this part with it. We're just going to... Basically, it's like Glass Planet style of type.
Yeah,
of,
absolutely. Good
warfare.
soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know if it was something to do with the way they enhanced his chip in the last episode or the previous, the first pilot episode, whether it intensified that particular aspect where even if you were just remotely associated with whatever target you're after, you are basically got a target on your head.
Exactly.
So that's a little extreme, and of course, if you don't say anything, you're going to get shot. If you talk back, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, has got bad juju written all over it.
Significantly.
Yeah.
And apparently Saw is going to play a much more pivotal role. I knew that he was going to be in this season, but I thought it was just going to be like
little cameo,
little pop-ups. Yeah,
he may still have a little bit of that. It's just kind of like this. He may be chasing. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they did seed the whole fact with the Imperial Academies or the forthcoming Imperial Academies being run by previous clones. Clone troopers,
right?
Who had a lot of special training and stuff like that, to basically phase out the whole cloning process and bring in the conscripts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the Empire wants to phase out the cloning process.
Right.
The Kaminoans have another plan.
Yes. Which it's probably got to do something with Omega. I'm sure.
I'm thinking that Omega was their first attempt at creating a female, so that clones can be created through procreation instead of genetic material, because it is degrading. They do not have Jango Fett anymore, and so they're going to take 2 clones and procreate them, and then use that genetic material to continue the cloning process. That's my assumption. Because otherwise, why would you create a female clone?
But having said that, why make it like a preteen? I mean, I'm sure she's like 12 or 13, maybe.
Well, it's still the aging process, just like a regular clone. Remember, Jango, the only reason why Jango aged naturally is because... Or, I'm sorry, Boba aged naturally is because Jango specifically requested it so he would have a child.
Yeah.
But then, my question is, how does Cut have children? Because
he
I was under the impression...
He doesn't. If I remember the episode the original with him. And, of course, if, in the comments, if I am wrong, that's fine. I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. But if I remember right, Cut married her after her husband had died. Yeah, it's his stepkids.
Okay, that makes
Though
a lot
it
more
is
sense.
possible for a human and a Twi'lek to have a child because Hera and Kanan had a child.
Right, I fully understood that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes,
okay.
But if I remember the particular episode right, Sue, that's her kids. It Cut's stepkids, even though he doesn't, obviously doesn't refer him to it. So
it's been a while. I've slept since then multiple times.
So
I apologize for my ignorance. On that one.
No, we're supposed to remember every single little detail down to the model number of the Treadwell droid that got killed.
Yeah. IG-11.
No. Not a Treadwell droid.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah. IG is it's a separate, the Treadwell droids are those little, they look like binoculars on a stick with a wheel.
Oh,
treads.
okay.
Yeah.
the little Wally floor cleaner people.
Kind of, yes.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they remind me of.
Yeah. But, yeah, and so, let's see. We have, kind of wrapping up here. I don't have too much else. I mean, it's a very self-contained episode.
Yeah. Other than the foreshadowing to what we know the Empire becomes.
Yes.
There wasn't really any continual
Right. I mean, it's just kind of like seeding those things. This is where the Imperial, academies has started.
Yep.
Excuse me. And we're gonna move forward. Last episode we had the whole, and Tarkin mentioned it to this now he's an admiral, Rampart, and he was the one who did the currency exchange program.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay. Take your useless Republic credits and turn it into mighty Imperial credits.
Yep.
That's... Yeah. Anyways, I was going to say...
Still not as valuable as Best Friend.
No. So, we also had Omega finally getting her own little room.
Yes.
And that was very nice and very sweet. Instead of... I don't know if you remember the show My Two Dads from the 90s.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, well... It's an interesting show. It's about this, pair of fathers. It's like two fathers, and raising this daughter together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember too much. My sisters primarily watched it whenever it was on. I do remember there was one episode where they did a genetic test to see which one was the biological father. But I think they either did one of two things. It's been ages since I've seen it or heard it in the background would be more accurate term. They either ended the episode before it was revealed, Soprano style.
Okay, fair enough.
Or it was one of those things the child took the thing and just chunked the results in the trash and says, I don't care. So... This kind of reminded me of Omega's four dads. Though I feel Wrecker's more like an older brother rather than an actual dad, because Hunter's kind of got the dad, and Tech and Echo, they're just
cousins.
We're just the uncles that just kind of like, okay, we'll come to the family reunions and eat food and then leave.
It's like full house set in space.
Yeah. And then Wrecker's like the crazy uncle.
Yeah.
That acts like a kid. Still. But granted,
I absolutely love Wrecker.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite out of all of them, because it's just almost anything out of his mouth is hilarious.
Well, when I first watched Season 7 of Clone Wars, I was like, okay, I am all here for Tech. Like, I was very, very, very intrigued by Tech. And the fact that a clone could have that kind of ingenuity.
Oh, yeah.
But Wrecker just can't be beat. After I saw him with the magnet lock last week, or in this previous episode, I was done. I was like, okay, he wins everything.
Well, that and the booby trap, and he was like, "Was that me?" Yes.
Did I do that?
Yes, that was you. All right, so we're just kind of basically. I'm kind of feeling more of a Mandalorian type of pacing to this.
Yeah, absolutely. One cohesive story, but
and then
each episode can go by itself. Yeah,
and it's still connected in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's I guess they saw that formula kind of work.
Yeah.
For 2 seasons of Mandalorian. So this, which I do like. They're doing a more, we're airing the episodes chronologically. They could have easily went the route of Clone Wars and made this season 8 of Clone Wars and had it all bounce around, different times and whatnot. But no. This is its own standalone, separate series.
Are done.
Yeah, and I mean now you've just got this rogue band of clones, enhanced clones, just kind of gallivanting around trying to essentially survive. And then one of their own, I don't know. They keep putting him in the little mind zapper tube.
Well, yeah, okay, so
enhanced. I don't know if they're doing something obviously with the inhibitor chip, making sure, I guess, it sticks.
Yeah. So the first time, and I was listening to the dialogue. The first time they put him in, it was to increase his responsiveness to the inhibitor chip.
Yeah.
And make it more prevalent. This time, they were making sure that actually stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
It's going to be like quality control tests.
Yeah. And if it works, I'm sure they're going to probably start doing that to a lot more of the clones. Probably starting with the ones that they want as instructors to teach the conscripts.
Oh, I was thinking that they were going to do it to the conscripts themselves at the Imperial Academy, like the first generation of them.
Not necessarily, because
you don't want your soldiers to have free will.
Well, I mean, I think they're not. Yeah, true to a certain extent, but the way I see it, and it's like this group, or at least the one guy in this group, he was basically shunned by the Republic or whatever. We're not sure what his background was, but obviously it wasn't a great one. He probably was on the street or whatever, trying to scrape by, and then here come Republic disappears, the Empire comes in, he gets approached. Hey, because he's probably vocal.
Yeah.
Okay, Palpatine got rid of the Republic. Things are going to be different now.
Yeah.
And they, Rampart or whoever his basically recruitment officer was, caught wind of that and scooped him up and say, hey, we'll put give you 3 squares a day, here's a bed, your own, roof over your head, everything that you did not have before under the Republic. We, the Empire, are going to take care of you. And I feel like that is going to be the blanket campaign that they're going to use to bring in all the stormtroopers.
Right.
So, and of course, eventually they'll replace the clone troopers teachers with those others that they know that they can trust and whatnot. Probably in due to what, I don't know if Tarkin actually watched the full recording of what that probe droid showed.
Yeah.
But then again, Tarkin is one to be willfully ignorant of things to a certain degree.
Yeah. But even in the Citadel saga, him and Chancellor Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine, were really, really good friends. Like, he made it seem like they grew up together.
Yeah.
The way he talked about it. And Anakin's like, oh, he's my friend too. Yeah, but are you guys really friends?
And then by the end of that, him and Tarkin were they were getting close, so I'm imagining eventually...
Yeah, I'm thinking Tarkin is one of the few people that actually know that Anakin is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And so...
And that is why he and those two are together on the Death Star in Episode 4. Because, Tarkin needed somebody he could trust, and the Emperor needed his Padawan, or his apprentice there, to make sure things didn't go awry. Again.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
I don't have anything else. What do you have? Anything else?
No, I do have a question for you. It's a probability question.
Oh, okay.
With this show being developed by, produced by, directed by, pick any title you want, Dave Filoni, because it is connected to Clone Wars
and Rebels,
yeah, and Mandalorian, and basically anything that he puts his name on except for
universe,
Avatar.
itself.
What is the % chance we get at least a cameo of Ahsoka? Because he loves Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, because that was his original contribution to the Clone Wars. Originally, I don't think Lucas had Ahsoka in the thing at all.
No, the reading I've done is Dave Filoni went to George Lucas and said, "Hey, I want to put this character in," and George helped Dave come up with a backstory.
Yeah. So, I mean, we may. I don't think we're going to get. I mean, if we do, it may be just like something in passing, just kind of referencing, maybe like whenever the Bad Batch finally catch up to Rex, and maybe Rex may mention something about Ahsoka, or he may not, because she is technically a Force user, and she was targeted by Order 66, regardless of her status as a Jedi or not. Same as Maul.
Right.
Because he wasn't a Jedi at all. He was just definitely a Force user. And obviously, Palpatine at one time saw him as a rival.
Yes.
So.
Yes, exactly.
I love that scene in Clone Wars with Palpatine versus Maul and Savage. That was one of the most intense, and you could tell Palpatine was just having a ball.
Yeah.
Just picking them apart, and he's just like, I am having so much fun letting the hate flow through me and whatnot. And yeah, I don't think we're going to really see that much. I mean, I'm going to say maybe about a 25% chance we'll actually see Ahsoka on screen. We may hear her name, maybe. But I feel like by this point, maybe, I think Rex and Ahsoka have kind of went their separate ways, and Rex is kind of doing his maybe he might. I don't know if he's found Wolf and Gregor yet. That may be coming later, but
that could be a show in and of itself. I love them together.
Yeah. Just them on the desert planet hunting Jupiter.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Just let's go.
That's it. Old guys fishing.
With their giant mechanical crab that looks straight out of Wild Wild West.
Well, it's one of the ATTEs. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the old tank.
It was so
tank
modified.
ones,
It just reminded me of.
Well,
Wild
yeah.
Wild
I mean,
West.
it was modified to be have living quarters on it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But I figured they had a kind of a mutual thing. I'm not going to mention you. You're not going to mention me. That way everybody's safe. She's going to go probably off maybe starting her Fulcrum.
That's what I was thinking. That was going to be my thing. Was going to be a shrouded Fulcrum transmission.
Yeah, but that may not become later until the maybe like 2 or 3 years down the road or whatever, into this 19-year interim between the Revenge of the Sith and essentially Rogue One.
Right.
And you have to have that time for the Empire to really develop into what it is seen in those particular movies there, in Rogue One and the original trilogy. And yeah, she may be trying, just finding a place to lay low, just kind of be downplay, just kind of listen, letting, watching kind of how things are going in the galaxy and a lot of things. And eventually she'll get into her little Fulcrum hidey hole.
I love the Fulcrum hidey hole.
Fulcrum hidey hole, yes.
I have a caveat question to that, and please forgive my ignorance. Comments don't hate me.
Yeah.
Where does Solo come into play, like timeline wise? I've never understood, like year.
It
like,
is
how many
definitely
years after the
okay.
beginning of the Empire, because it was before Maul had revealed himself to be back, because he's still in the shrouds.
Right. Yes.
Running.
Before he actually, it was definitely before the Inquisitors became aware of his survival and chased him all the way to what the planet
where the Sith holocron was.
Yes, where the Sith holocron was.
Yeah.
Rah rah rah. I'll eventually figure that. I'll probably put the title, and they write it here somewhere. So
yeah, I can't remember.
Malachor.
Yes.
Yeah, Malachor. Yes. And he was just left there. Eventually, of course, Kanan and Ezra run into him, and the whole thing happened, and he stole one of the Inquisitor ships and went off. Yeah, so it's definitely before that. I would say, since I think Rebels. Let's see here. Because Ezra was 15 whenever it started, and he was born on Empire Day.
Yes.
So it has to be at least maybe like I'm gonna say 10 to 12 years into the Empire.
Okay,
that's when Solo.
I've
that's
never actually heard a
guess.
definitive.
I don't
timeline.
Yeah. Maybe if the novelization goes into a little bit deeper, but I don't. So, yeah. Let's see. I don't really have much else. We could go anywhere because they really didn't, give any sort of indication where they were heading. They're just in hyperspace going.
Yeah.
And going and eventually, I don't know, Omega, with a little talk with Hunter, talking about Crosshair, maybe trying to get him and try to help him, I guess, bring him back. The only way to do that is take the chip out.
Which means they'd have to go back to Camino or do something to where...
Or find some port where they could go and that has the... maybe not necessarily the same type of equipment, or the equivalent thereof, medical equipment to do brain surgery on that level.
Right.
I mean, Ahsoka did it with 3 droids and a standard medical bay on a Venerator Star Destroyer, Republic Star Destroyer, Republic Cruiser. Yeah. So I guess as long as you have equipment sensitive enough to detect it. Granted, she had to use the Force to actually pinpoint it, because I don't think the equipment was sensitive enough in that particular scene. So that may be a little bit of an issue, but having Omega being a medical assistant / being probably in a lab somewhere all this time and having all this stuff, and she kind of gleaning all this information, may know it's in this particular part of the brain with here, and it's under X number millimeters under this under the skin or whatever, so they can extract it. So
one thing I was surprised, and it may happen on the next episode, but it didn't happen on this one. Crosshair has not been commissioned to go hunt down the rest of the Bad Batch yet. And I thought that's what this episode was going to be about. I thought he was going to get his own little troops, and instead of sending them to Onderon, they were going to say, go find your brothers.
That may happen eventually. Probably, I haven't looked at the number of episodes that are in this season, so I'm trying to stay blank slate as I can going into these.
I was gonna say I didn't even know if they released the number of episodes.
I'm sure they did at some point. Maybe Wikipedia has it or whatever. But I'm not gonna look because I don't want to get into spoiler territory.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna say if there is a mid-season or some sort, that is probably what Tarkin is eventually going to do or something, and then the latter half is going to be that tracking down of the Bad Batch.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. But we did get to see him, so, and we do know what's going on. Unlike next episode, but that's going to happen next week. So, thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell to Flaggy over there. That way you do not miss any of these new episodes that are coming out, because we're going to be reacting to all of them, weather permitting. Of course. But, even if weather happens, and, we will be releasing these episodes. I don't have anything else, so anyways, bye-bye, and be blessed.
You had less notes this time than you did the first one.
Yes, I did.
The last one.
Oh, man.
We didn't even have an angry kitty this time.
No, we didn't have an angry kitty. We had a
moon dragon.
Had a doggo. What we had.
Doggo
with a chew toy.
You should so write that down and call it back for next time. It was like
it's a dragon doggo.
We've had an angry kitty. We've had a dragon doggo. What's this week?
We have
you compared it to a gopher.
A rhino fish.
Oh
wait.